But first, I want to pick up a topic that we've been talking about all week, about the dangers of sexualizing teen girls. We had Miley Cyrus on the cover of Vanity Fair, and it crashed their servers this week. We talked about the hookup culture, a stupid show on CW that has kids in high school making out and having sex on television. Well, we're not done. If you're a parent, there are some other things that you should know that should send shivers down your spine if you hear these three words: Grand Theft Auto. I know that when I say this, about 80% of the people in America that hear me are going, oh, geez, here's a crazy conservative on TV screaming about the dangers of video games. But like it or not, here's the point tonight. We are training our kids to be killers, and we are training our sons to treat women like whores. And here's how I got there. If you think that video games are just harmless fun, which everybody always says, you should know that our military, our leaders at the Pentagon, have never seen it that way. It started back in World War I. Young soldiers, we sent Americans out to the front lines over in Europe, and they wouldn't pull the trigger. Even there on the front lines with people charging them, they would not pull the trigger. It seems hard to believe in today's world, but killing each other is actually not a natural human instinct. Senior officers found if they trained the soldiers by putting a human silhouette on the bullseye during target practice, they could actually condition men to shoot more easily. The technology progressed, so did the training techniques. Paper targets evolved into electronic simulations, and welcome to the great-great-grandfather of the video game developed by the Pentagon. The method proved so successful that the military's firing rate, first time you had to shoot a human being, went from 15% in World War II to 55% in the Korean War to over 90% in Vietnam, and now that number is almost 100. I want to make one thing clear before we go any further. I am not blaming all of society's problems on video games. That would be stupid to do. It is the entire pop culture. It's music, it's movies, it's radio, it's television, it's all of it. According to the Journal of American Medical Association, just television, the introduction of television in the 1950s caused a doubling of the homicide rate in America. These are all just small pieces of the same small, nightmarish puzzle. Grand Theft Auto was originally released back in 1997. The first three versions of the game have sold over 70 million copies. The newest version was released this week, and there were lines outside of the stores waiting to grab a copy. GTA version 4 projected to sell 9 million copies just by the end of the year. That is $450 million in sales, and who says crime doesn't pay? The game, in case you don't know, and God bless you if you don't, features Nico. He is a low-level Eastern European thug. He tries to rise up through the ranks through unbelievable acts of violence. Parents, listen up, because here's what you need to know tonight. In Grand Theft Auto, your son or your husband or your boyfriend or whoever can hire a prostitute, have sex with her, and then beat her to death with a baseball bat. When a police officer comes after him, he can either light that police officer on fire or cut him in half with a chainsaw. This is entertainment? As he makes his getaway, Nico can carjack the ride of his choice and drive down a sidewalk, mowing down as many pedestrians as he like. It took 75 years and countless billions of dollars to train our soldiers to kill. Today, 60 bucks buys your kid the same thing. Whatever happened to Pong?
But our winner, Harold Hill, again, it's about his continuing attempt to disassociate himself and his inflammatory paranoia about an attack on the Second Amendment, an infringement of gun rights, and the need to take your government back from a duly elected president, from a man shooting and killing 3 policemen in Pittsburgh because he was afraid of, quote, the Obama gun ban that's on the way. But now there has been located criticism so clear, so pertinent, that it is unanswerable. A conservative TV host warning that video games and television had a direct cause and effect relationship with violence and murder, and even the murder of policemen. About the game Grand Theft Auto, this man said, "We are training our kids to be killers. If you think that video games are just harmless fun, which everybody always says, you should know that the military, our leaders at the Pentagon, have never seen it that way." Who made that pithy observation? The same man who, last May 1st, described what one character in Grand Theft Auto and the people playing the game as him could do.
When a police officer comes after him, he can either light that police officer on fire or cut him in half with a chainsaw. This is entertainment?
Oh, hypocrisy and self-absorbed righteousness in unparalleled purity. But it gets better. According to Beck 2008, and no doubt to the surprise of Beck 2009, it's not just video games that can lead to murder.
According to the Journal of American Medical Association, just television. The introduction of television in the 1950s caused a doubling of the homicide rate in America.
So video games can cause people to try to kill police, and television caused a doubling of the homicide rate. But Glenn Beck reducing the complexities of the world to the level of a video game for his television viewers and telling them they need to rise up and take back their country before the government takes their guns, that couldn't possibly have anything to do with one of those viewers rising up to take back his country before the government takes his guns. Glenn Beck, accessory, today's worst person in the world.